Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2024's The Substance, which was directed by Correle Fargyat. I'm your co host, Alec.
I'm Eric.
I definitely screwed up the pronunciation of that name, so I'm sorry. I know she's French, so it's probably like Correle
We
Fargyat.
suck at French. Did you take French in middle school?
I did. I
Yeah.
did.
How'd you do?
Not great, but honestly, I did so much French Duolingo during COVID that I actually think I can read it decently now. Like, but can't speak it
Okay.
at all, at
Okay.
all.
Well, you didn't say her name right.
Well,
So.
then that names are different. Coralie Far. All right. Anyways, so today we're talking The Substance, which is one of the only Academy Award nominated films for horror, like of like the Best Picture. We did Silence of the Lambs, which won. I'm pretty sure The Exorcist was nominated too. Not many others that I can think of. So this being like a big
Did Get
nominated.
Out win? Get Out won some
Oh,
stuff
Get Out.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't win Best Picture. You're right. It did get nominated. Yeah. So still, not a lot of horror films get these, Best Picture nominations. And this got nominated for 5 Oscars. So pretty damn good collectively. Like this was a big movie last year. A lot of, critical praise. People are talking about it. For some reason, you and I did not see it until, this week. But what'd you think, Eric? What
I
was the
watched it. I watched
substance?
it twice. I watched it twice. Loved it.
You watched
Freaking
it
loved it.
twice?
Yeah. So I watched it. Remember when I texted you like I can only get this far and told you where I left off, and you watched it before me.
Yeah.
Finished it the next day, and then last night I put it on again just as a refresher. Watched the whole thing again, right through. Freaking love this movie, dude.
It's 2.5 hours. Like
It's
I love it.
long.
Every movie we cover, you're like 90 minutes, loved it. Perfect time for a horror movie. And then this one is 2.5 hours long.
They could have sped things up and done things differently, but I honestly think it didn't feel like two and a half. It was paced well. Could
Yeah.
they have like gone faster at the beginning? Sure, but the pace of it was perfect in my mind.
Yeah. No, nothing bothered me about that. I think the last like 30 minutes got a little weird for me, but whatever. Like it's still a great
It did
film.
go off the rails at the
Yeah.
end. It did. It did.
Yeah.
So
And it's still very good. Like there are some plot holes that I kind of want to talk to you about and see if maybe I missed something because you watched it twice, so I think you know more than I would at this point. But yeah, overall, like damn, like very impressive, incredibly well shot, great acting, unbelievable effects. I mean, it's got everything that a good horror movie needs, or any movie really, but this nailed
don't
all
forget the
those.
music too.
Music was good. Yeah, what specifically stood out to you? The soundtrack or the
The
score? It's like The
and
Purge.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Remember, you are one. Like I the Purge music a little bit,
Yeah.
but you know what it reminded me of, especially that pump up song was do you remember that song like Satisfaction by I think his name was like Benny Benassi or something. It's like push me and then just turn and then satisfaction. It's like the music video is like the same thing too. It's just like a girl's ass jiggling. That's like what it was too. So it's like it's kind of I bet it pulled from that if I had to guess. Like that was the inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff. It reminded me of like 80s jazzercise kind of videos, and for a while I was really paying attention. Like, when does this take place? Because it really felt like the 80s for a while, but then slowly I was like, oh, she's got like a flash drive now. Oh, okay, she's got a flat screen TV. Like there was things like that.
But
But
I agree it didn't feel like our world still, you know?
yeah, nothing did. I mean, it takes place in Los Angeles, but it was filmed in France. So there is that kind of like it just feels off kilter by that. The hallway looked like The Shining, like and the bathroom looked like The Shining. So it was just like a lot of stuff that just didn't feel like yeah, like reality. It was like a dream kind of. And just the
Definitely. There's like
way
this fisheye camera view that would do like when like Dennis Quaid is going to go to the bathroom at the urinal and he's just
yeah.
like right up there, like, oh yeah, we gotta get someone hotter, you know? It's just like very uncomfortable, claustrophobic. like it was just great. But yeah, The Shining, I thought the same thing with the carpet, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the way that nobody like I don't know acts like real, like and that's probably a commentary on like Hollywood. Just like it doesn't feel like real people. They're just like, versions of people. And I mean, this is probably another movie like Get Out where we probably should have had a woman on as a guest because like there's gonna be things that like we're probably gonna miss, like because I think the overall theme of the movie is like what it's like to be an older woman, it feels like, especially in the limelight and feeling like you're not as worthy as you were when you were young, just because your looks were so valued then. And that happens to just old people in general, but I think like you and I don't have that experience or, the beauty standard, I guess. You know what I mean?
I got a big zit coming on right here. I don't know if you see, but yeah, man, no, it to me, this movie was a super duper exaggeration, but not too far off from our current culture when it comes to beauty and staying young. And um comparably to the substance, like right now, Ozempic is huge and those weight loss drugs. And I think that was this plus a little plastic surgery action as well. What it was like, you want to stay younger? Well, yeah, this will make you look 5 years younger, but in 5 years, you'll look 10 years older if you do this kind of thing. So it's like buying time from yourself almost by trying to stay beautiful now.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, because like when people get like facial work done, like it all starts to look the same when they get really older and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what this was doing a little bit.
Once you get that ball rolling, you can't stop it. This if
Yeah.
you stop doing Botox in 6 months, you're like,
Oh my God.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like once you do that, you're doing it. So I'm curious about Ozempic since it's so new. What
Yeah.
happens when you go off it? Do you just blow up like a fish? I imagine that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's scary. I don't know. People are so excited to try something like it works, but then yeah, we have no idea what it does really.
In the
Eesh, but
long term too, and we talked about it. It's a diabetes medication that became a weight loss medication because people took the diabetes medication, realized, hey, this makes you lose weight, and the people with the money are like, hmm, okay.
yeah.
Um, and what was the other thing? Like you mentioned Viagra once. Like Viagra was a blood thinner, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
And they
wasn't.
realized the side effect was getting like a gas station pill, and and then
Yeah. No, I mean, and this drug it's not like that. Like, it's not on the market. It's not like anybody can get it, but it is kind of in line with those things that are just kind of like to keep you feeling young when you're old or to keep you feeling thin, I guess. I don't know. But just
Don't
beauty
don't
standards.
forget that plastic surgery industry is a multi-billion with the B industry. I also freelanced doing video and editing work for a company, not going to say the name, but they are in the plastic surgery realm of things and they have money. Like I
Yeah.
saw what they were doing and it was like jaw drop on the floor with what they were putting out and what they were doing. They were also doing guinea pig kind of stuff, which I think this movie is. It's like Demi Moore is a guinea pig for this company to test this stuff for free and see if they can turn it into a financial. That's my take on it. But what I was saying back to my point is like it's $1 billion industry for a reason. It's because people want to be looking younger. And at this event too, I told you this, everyone there was on all kinds of stuff to make them look younger. And I felt like I was Will Smith in Men in Black. Like everyone felt off. Like I was like, I'm in a room of aliens, dude. And I'm not trying to make fun of people that do that. Yeah, you can do that. You can do whatever you want, but like me, I'm someone who's like, I like natural, period, you know?
Yeah. So this movie definitely toys with that idea of, what would you do to stay young? And yeah, the idea of the movie is there's a drug that you can inject yourself with, and it will turn you into a younger, hotter version of yourself. So you're going to look better than you did even when you were young. And you have to live in that body for 7 days, and then it's like feeding your, unconscious corpse with this serum, and then you have to go back and switch with your old body every 7 days. So it's a cool idea. But even before any of that, we'll get into like the plot a little bit. And I like the opening shot. It's very just like on the nose. You just see an egg and it's just sitting there and they inject it with this, green serum and it turns to two yolks. And you're like, okay, so that lines it up pretty quickly. Even the poster has a pupil or an eye with two pupils. So you're
And we
like,
see that
okay,
we see that when they do that.
yeah.
So
So
it's
it's
clearly just one thing splitting. There's the original Matrix and then the splice, and but they're one.
yeah.
So one gives, one takes. You got to stay on the same page or shit goes awry, which kind of happens.
And you are one implies that they have the same person. They have the same
Same
brain.
consciousness, the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
everything.
It's
Yeah.
just a different body. So Demi Moore is a 50, I think she's turning 50. It's her
She's 60,
birthday
60 something in
in
real
real
life,
life. Yeah.
but she's turning 50. Yes.
Yeah, so she's turning 50 and she's the lead of this like jazzercise dance show or whatever. And she's been doing it for like 20 years. She used to be an Academy Award winning actress, but now she does this. And we see a
She
star.
has yep, she has a
Yeah.
star on the I guess Hollywood Walk of Fame, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They show how they make it, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, them actually like putting the cement down and putting her name on the star and it's like hardening and everything. And then you
But also
see,
showing it age, which is cool,
yeah,
like cool.
that
And
was really cool.
we've been there. I've been there once with you. You showed
Yeah.
me it, and man, it's like it's kind of like not it's not hypocrisy, but it's just like you're a star and people are just walking on your star and just throwing trash on your star and doing a lot worse on your star in some cases.
Oh yeah.
But in a lot of cases. But, and like I just love the street cleaner stuff and it's just like yeah, like it ain't what it's chalked up to be. The glitter ain't worth the glam, girl. It's full of shit, literally. So it made me think like, wow, being famous and young is just like people love you for 1 minute and then chop liver.
Yeah, it's only when you're, valuable to the machine. That's the only time that they want you. And she's made a decent living out of like she won an Academy Award and now she's hosting the show or she's making money. I mean, her apartment in LA would be, I don't even know, probably. I mean, I'm sure she owns it and it would be $1 million at least because it's overlooking like all of LA. Huge, crazy window.
Yeah, and you
Um,
think like rich people problems, you got laid off of your job that you've had until you're 50. It's like now you can kind of live your life more, but that's not what she wants. She wants to be loved. She
yeah.
wants people to love her, and she's having like this crisis. But yeah, let's keep going through the plot before we get into that more.
So she's getting fired. Not Nicolas Cage. Oh my God, Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid.
Same thing.
He's like this scummy studio head or whatever, and his name is Harvey, so it's like very on the nose.
Huh.
Or
Who could
yeah,
that be? I didn't even
yeah,
pick that up until you were like, yeah, it's kind of like Harvey Weinstein. It's like,
yeah.
why did I miss that? And that's why I watched it twice. So
I mean, he didn't do anything that's like sexually aggressive or anything like that, but he's definitely like gross and scummy.
the comments
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
being just dehumanizing people. Like who was the assistant? Isabella. He's like, remember he's like,
yeah. He's like
what's your name?
Cindy,
We're gonna
Cindy.
call you Cindy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier. It's
Yeah,
like
that I mean, just saying that women like their fertility after 25 like starts to go down. You're just like, yelling it
the
on the
way he's
phone.
eating shrimp, like
Yeah,
I'm just an animal
he's
of a
disgusting.
we gotta please the stakeholders. It was
Pretty
like,
much.
damn, all right.
So he's a scumbag. He fires Demi Moore and he's just like, yeah, and then they put an ad out that they want 18 to 30-year-olds to replace. And her name is kind of a cool name. What is Elizabeth Sparkle? Yeah,
With an
so
S instead of like Eliz, which I'm familiar with, the Elisa Beth
yeah,
was like, okay, Elizabeth. Like
Elizabeth Sparkle. So
that's her definitely her stage name
yeah,
though.
yeah, for sure. But she lives alone. And I think that's the other thing. It feels really sad because it's like this woman, yeah, she's 50, she's gorgeous, she just got laid off, she's got millions of dollars, she can do whatever she wants. But then you turn around her apartment, she doesn't even have a dog. She has no husband, she has no kid, she has like, there's no friends. We don't even see her talking to any friends. So like she has nothing
Well,
aside from
this
that.
was her life, and this is
Yeah.
what made her happy, and now it's taken away. And it's like you
Yeah.
still have the nice apartment, you still have everything, you have a whole life to live. But instead, she's like, I lost this. I can't get it back.
It's all she, yeah, it's what she is. That's in her entire existence is that, you know?
What's
So yeah.
what's crazy is I'm pretty sure right after she was fired, she's leaving and she runs into someone from 10th grade homeroom, right? Was
Yeah,
that
from
right
her
after
high
that?
school, yeah.
Or maybe that was, oh, I think that was after the hospital. That was after the hospital. But still, same concept. Right around that time, she's finally met someone who seems really nice and is asking her, like, do you want to get coffee sometime? And here's my number. And she's just like, I have to focus on this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
also think she thought she was too good for him still. Like that's kind of the impression I
or
got.
she thought I'm at his level now. I'm back to
Yeah.
10th grade homeroom, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, so she gets fired and then she's like, very unhappy and she's driving away and then she gets in a car accident.
She literally sees her face getting ripped off a
Oh
billboard
yeah.
and she's just like, are you kidding me? And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, and then
boom.
just bam, smashed by a car, wakes up in the hospital, miraculously is totally fine, which is like just crazy.
I mean, that a car accident to walk away from
Yeah.
unscathed made me
Yeah.
think maybe she died in the car accident and this is her last test to get into the next level, if you know what I mean.
That would definitely make the offbeatness of the movie make sense that if she just died right there. Because
I mean,
nothing,
she came out of that and they're like, you didn't even crack a molar. It's like
yeah.
anyone else would be like crippled from that accident. That was insane. She flipped over. It was a T-bone.
Yeah, they probably should have done something just to like not as an intense of a car crash, just to make them like, okay, like, she just had to go to the hospital, but it
But that's the
wasn't like,
thing. She goes to
yeah.
the hospital and there's this young nurse who is checking her spine. And I think one thing, ignoring the comment of that she died, she's unscathed, which means she's very physically capable of handling certain things at her age. And he's checking her spine like she looks like a perfect candidate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what happens after that?
Yeah, so then she leaves. She does, I think, bump into that guy that we just talked about, her old like high school crush, I guess. And she finds a note in her pocket of her jacket that says like the substance, and it's a USB drive, and it says it changed my life. And she's just like, okay. So she throws it in the trash, I think, and then
At her
goes to the
home, at her
bar.
home.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
goes home, throws it in the trash, goes to the bar, drinks like four martinis, and
at
then
least. You know, she had like six more in between.
oh, six. I think four martinis is a lot. But anyway, so then she looks to her left and she sees this couple like making out. And she's like, God damn it. Like, I want that so bad. And I'm like, Demi Moore, you could get any guy.
Yeah,
Like,
go
what are
up to
you
that guy
talking
and
about?
take him. You could
Yeah.
probably like break up that relationship right there. Like, what is you had Ashton Kutcher. What's the big deal? You know,
Yeah.
like,
So her character is very insecure, but we're all looking at her like, I mean,
come
she's
on.
so attractive. But anyway, so then she goes home, she's all sad. She reads in the news or the article or whatever in the newspaper saying that they're replacing her and she knows she's fired. So she's drunk, she calls the number and they basically are this like weird guy answers and she's like I want the substance or whatever and they're like okay what's your address okay we'll mail you something and then they write down this number so she goes to or does she go first or does she watch the USB
I think
first
she watches the USB,
okay
um, and then calls the number. And the USB is like this minute long intro video. It's like crazy music, boom, boom, to crazy bold text, like the substance, like you
yeah
are one. Imagine yourself more beautiful, younger, and like pretty much explains what we said, like where you have 7 days, your other thing has your equal younger self has 7 days, and you are one, but you switch on and off from here on. So it's
yeah
like, okay. But with that said, there's no side effects. There's no warning aside from like, remember you are one, you know?
yeah
Which makes me think that whatever this is a total guinea pig scenario. They want
yeah
Demi Moore to be one of their test subjects. She's not signing anything.
yeah
She's not reading anything. They just want her to do it and go out into the natural world, and they'll keep tabs on her.
yeah that was something that I kind of wish that there was a little bit more information to like make
I
her
don't. It made me
really
think. It made me think,
well
and it made me, yeah.
not to give away what this is, not to say that it's a company and they're doing guinea pig stuff or whatever, but just something to make it a little bit more believable that she would just inject herself with this. Like show a video of somebody else going through it or something. I don't know. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm like, is she that desperate that she'll just inject Mountain Dew into her arm? Like, I mean, it's just like you have no idea what's going on. You go to this crazy warehouse, you've got a key card and then you just there's no one in there. The door barely opens, and you scan a box and it comes out. Like, who the hell is going to inject themselves with that just based on that USB
Well,
video?
also going into that place, the door didn't even open, and she had to
Yeah.
like crawl in, and it's.
Would you do that? Would you
I mean, it's
inject
funny you
yourself
bring
with a
up Mountain
serum?
Dew. I wish I could go back and not drink Mountain Dew and see what I could be because I used to drink Mountain Dew like it was my job, and it's like if I didn't drink Mountain Dew, that's my negative substance, and if
You'd
I
look like
didn't,
Demi Moore now.
I'd look like Brad Pitt, 100%. Brad Pitt, yeah, but I don't, and here I am.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Like I get it, she's desperate, she needs to look young, but still like it just didn't feel like there was enough information for me to be like somebody would do this. Like somebody's that desperate, but she does.
100%. I mean, look at Ozempic. Like honestly,
Ozempic's through the doctor, and it's like there's medicine. Okay, I would trust Ozempic more than I would trust this. Like
to split me in two, and like, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't even know I'd be like the way it happened. I didn't even know that. But also, like the needles doing it yourself. Like, get out of here.
That's the thing.
Like,
There's not any explanation of like, okay, you need to stick this into their spinal cord and suck this juice out and make sure you don't hit like, a nerve or break something. So there's almost no instructions. Like it felt like you were opening like an iPod or like not an iPod, an iPhone. And it's just
well,
like, welcome. Like there's very little instructions.
she gets it. She gets the box. I think her number was 503, if I'm
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
But if you remember, when she first goes in, there's only one other person. There's like 200 something. All the other boxes don't have numbers, and I'll get to this point later that I caught the second time. She goes home, she says F it, injects herself, goes to the bathroom, and what happens? She just like falls
Splits.
over.
Yeah.
No, she falls over, and
Yeah.
then the eye pupil happens, which is like the coolest shot in the movie. That's what it's going to be remembered for. It was amazing, and that's the poster as well. The splice, the other you, the younger, beautiful you, comes out of her. Margaret Qualley is her name,
Yeah.
right?
Do you know whose daughter that is?
No,
The lead actress from Groundhog's Day?
Bill Murray. What do you mean?
No, the
Oh, actress.
actress.
Oh, what's her name? I always confuse her with the Louis Dreyfus,
No, it's
but
Andy McDowell, I think. Yeah, so
okay.
she was a big actress in like the 80s and 90s. She's in a Rosie O'Donnell movie that I'll tell you about later. But
I
anyways,
mean, yeah, and she pops out, but at the same time, you think about this, like she injected herself, she comes out, she doesn't have Demi Moore no longer has to do all this, like deal with the pain and stuff. This character is. So she's doing the sewing of the spine, which is an insane scene.
that's crazy too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're already this far, you know?
Yeah, well, you
So
have to do something, but like,
now you're in it. Now you
does
started
Demi
the
Moore have?
Botox. You started the Botox. You got to keep going, or you're gonna get old. You
Yeah,
know,
but how does
your
Demi
butt.
Moore know how to sew up the back of a spine?
There's no instructions as far as I
That's what I'm
know.
saying. So like, she doesn't even know that this is going to happen, but then she has to be prepared to sew up her spine. Like, I don't know. So that was a little,
Well, I
that
think
was,
that was in the kit, like as she's going through the things, like she did the thing, and then she saw the activator. She did the activator. She saw the sewing kit, so she probably like, I gotta sew something probably. And then there's these like food things and stuff. So
yeah,
she's like, okay, this doesn't look that bad. And then that happens where she literally pops out of her spine, which is crazy because you'd think like maybe it'd be a birthing thing, you know? But no, it's literally from her spinal fluid, she comes out.
yeah. So it's pretty insane. And it's
Cronenberg
unbelievable, but
style
whatever.
too, which is comes really Cronenberg at the end as well.
Yeah. So now there's Margaret Qualley, and she's the young version of Demi Moore. Also, off the bat, there is so much nudity in this movie, especially for the first like hour. It's just like full
Yeah.
frontal, super French, just like naked. And I was
Like Demi Moore is
surprised.
like slightly sagging ass too in the mirror, and it's just like, yeah, she's getting older. What do you
I
want?
mean, she looked great. She looked in great. I mean, but
For
whatever.
60 something? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
she
But
looked amazing. But anyway, so yeah, that was something that I was just like, damn, man, Orgasmo got an NC-17. There's like no nudity in that movie. And then this,
anything goes these days, man. Anything
yeah.
goes.
But okay, so then the movie basically is off to the races now. Margaret
Yeah, feeding
Qualley,
Margaret Qualley's on her own. She's got 7 days. Demi Moore's like coma, like dead but alive, like vegetable style with a feeding tube.
yeah,
And Margaret Qualley's like, got 7 days. She sits on the couch, and what does she do? She sees the ad for the we're looking for the young starlet, right?
yeah,
From Dennis Quaid's ad.
yep.
And
But I just love too how she leaves Demi Moore's body on the ground. I was like, she's gonna be so sore when she wakes up, like her neck's like on like the
she
bathroom floor.
does the second day put like a towel under her head, which is like, yay, bravo, you're setting yourself up for success when you switch in 6 days, you
Yeah, like
know?
this is her own body. Like I'd be like, let's put it in bed. I don't know. But so she leaves it on the bathroom floor, for 7 days. It survives off of this oatmeal stuff or whatever. And yeah, so she goes out, she gets
Overnight oats right there.
yeah,
You know,
it's
seriously,
like a bag
like
of oats. And then she yeah, so then she gets the part, like, because she knows exactly what the producers want. She's very physically fit. She can do whatever they want. And there's one scummy line where the producer or the casting directors are like, at least all the right parts are in the right places this time about like her compared to another girl that was just in there. And I was like, oh, and shit like that gets said. And I'm just like, oh, God.
thank you.
In
Don't
real
call
life.
us, we'll call you. And then the comments just fly the second the door
Yeah,
closes.
I'm sure horrible things have been said about me when I left a casting
Like
room.
what? Give me one. What do you think someone said about you? I'm
Oh, he
excited.
was awful. How did he get even in this room? Stuff like that. Like, who let this guy even in here? Um, but yeah, so it is, about the auditioning process a little bit, but it's more about for, dancing. It's not really about acting in this movie. So yeah, so she gets the part, but she has to explain to Dennis Quaid that like I can't do this every other week, which I don't think Dennis Quaid would have been as cool about that. Knowing this industry, they'd be like, fuck your mom. Do you want to work here? Like that's what it would probably be like, not like we'll
I
do
mean,
anything. Like,
he's saying what he needs to say now.
yeah,
And he's like, I don't care if your brother, sister, mom, dad, dog will make it work, honey. He
yeah.
just wants her now, and then he'll fucking ruin her life. That's who he is.
Yeah, I know. It's just interesting. I'm trying to imagine an actress like getting a big part and then being like, but I can't do these days because my mom's sick. And then just being like, okay,
Well, then you don't have the part. Yeah.
yeah, like especially an actress who's not established. Like Sue is the name of a young Demi Moore character, and she's nobody, but she becomes this overnight international success basically after the show, which is
Clearly, Sue, like, obviously, first off, extremely attractive, but B somehow has all this knowledge of this show and how to do it and stuff like that, which we
yeah,
don't really see a lot of her until they get into the show. But I think they're like, oh, we got the jackpot when she walked in the door. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
because she's got the brains of a woman that's been
She's got
doing
Demi
this,
Moore's
yeah, for
exactly.
20
Yeah.
years, but she's got the physical, appearance of I don't know how old her character is, but I think Margaret Qualley's like 30. But
25, 30.
it's
Yeah.
funny because I know you haven't seen it yet, but Rick and Morty season 8, the premiere episode, kind of does something like this. So
You know
check it
what
out.
it's gonna do it is Scary Movie 6 has to have a substance scene of some kind.
Yeah,
Whether it's like I can only imagine in my mind what they could do, but Scary Movie 6, because we just covered Scary Movie, just has me in the parody mindset of all these new movies coming out. And this is a widely known film, Academy Award winning one for best makeup and hairstyling, which
yeah.
clearly deserved.
If it didn't win Best Makeup. But really quick, man, I don't know if you want to read the stats, but I don't know, man. I know we like it and horror people like it, but I don't think this made a big like cultural splash, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll read the stat. It came out May 19th, 2024. I guess that was the debut at least. Its runtime is 2 hours and 35 minutes. Not how I like it. I usually like it short and sweet, but this movie paced very well for this length of movie. Its budget was 18 million. I was actually surprised by that.
That's really low. It's probably because they filmed in France, like in the area that the director, I think, grew
And
up
you
in.
have three really big actors, Dennis Quaid, Margaret Qualley, and Demi Moore. And I was like, huh. I
Yeah.
think they just knew they had the right pieces to make a good movie, and maybe they didn't pay the actors that much or something. I don't know. It made, like you said, 77 to 82 million. I love when I see that stat. It's like, what happened to the 5 million? Like, where did that go? Does anyone like who's the accountant? Like,
Yeah.
hey, this movie, guys, we just made 77 to 82 million. And it's like, cool, but like, what about that 5 million?
Yeah.
It's like, what 5 million? Like, like,
No.
what does that
Well,
mean when you see that?
these are like estimates. Like they know the real numbers of the studios. They have it to the penny.
Estimates is like, oh, it wasn't $12, it was actually $15. Like
Yeah.
$5 million difference
Well, this
is
is
to me,
Wikipedia. That's the difference. If
to,
this was
to,
Warner Brothers, it would
but
be
yeah, but
yeah.
like to me, like most of the box office, I only see that once in a while. Usually it's like super low budget films that like I don't even know if he made money, but like but
Yeah.
like this like to see a 5 million, yeah, we made like 1 to 7 million. It's like did we make 1 million or seven? Like
Well, this movie also is not. This is Mubi, or I have never heard of
two,
this company. It's
yeah, and it's and that's
MUBI.
that's their that's how I watched it. I
Yeah.
signed up through Prime. I'm probably gonna cancel it, but
Yeah.
maybe someday I'll watch it again and get it back. But Rotten Critic score 89%. I'd give it exactly that. Its Rotten Audience was 72, and I was like, I feel like the
Hmm.
audience score should be way higher.
Yeah, so this is kind of why I feel like this movie it's big for what it is, but it's not like culturally huge. I don't know. Because it's so long that I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't know if I'm gonna really invest. Like if you're not a horror fan or if you aren't like curious, if it's just kind of like on Netflix and you're like 2.5 hours, what the fuck? What is this?
Well,
But
it's funny. I brought it up to like four people at work the last couple days, and three out of four knew what it was. And one
yeah.
person even said like, "Oh, my brother has like the activator pen. I guess there's like a pen, like a what that looks like the activator from the movie. He's like, he got that from like a premiere or something." I was like, "Dude, that's
Mm.
cool."
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big movie, but I'm just wondering. I don't think it's like Blair Witch or Scream or any of those kind of movies, but it's still like a big deal. But
Demi
move.
Moore also won the Golden Globe for Best
Mm,
Actress for this movie,
hmm.
but she lost the Oscar to what's her name? But there was a huge like meme going around like, oh my God, the substance is actually like coming alive in real life because you had this young, beautiful actress winning and Demi Moore losing. So it's like, uh-oh, what's Demi Moore gonna do?
Oh my
But
God.
no, I mean, she won the Golden Globe. Obviously, she did a phenomenal job in this movie, but yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a scene coming up where I'm like, damn, yeah, the acting was because most of the movie she's pretty timid. She doesn't really talk very much and she's quiet. But then towards the end, you're like, oh, damn. So yeah, moving on with the plot a little bit now. Margaret Qualley, she is finding a lot of success. She's, loving her life and she puts Demi Moore in a secret room that she builds in her bathroom, which is also pretty crazy that she was able to do this. Like, how much space is in this? But whatever.
Talking about, didn't she have a housekeeper too going around vacuuming at one point?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
remember her ever firing the housekeeper, but like that would be like my number one concern about this. Like, hey, housekeeper, for the next 7 days, you're only gonna come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Because there's a lot of chances somebody could. I mean, only the housekeeper is the only one we see, in there, but anybody could come in, I guess. But yeah, so she knocks this wall down in her bathroom and then perfectly retiles it, which I'm like, okay, you're a famous actress, but I'm like, okay. So she does that, and she puts her body in there, and then she keeps going off, and she's like, I want to bring men home. So she brings back this backup dancer for her at her show, and the show's
a
doing really well.
backup dancer?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Lisa's
That's another
security guard.
scare.
She don't respect herself. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so now she's got a guy back there and she's starting to notice that like, oh my God, this is the seventh day and I'm pushing it too far and I need to go back to my old body. But if I don't, this guy's here and what'll happen? So she pushes it and she turns her finger old from that, right? It
Yeah,
was,
so what she does is she says, I need one more day. I
yeah,
need probably she's like, I just need like 5 more hours. So what she does is she says, I have the tools. What's to say I can't
yeah,
take a little bit more spinal fluid and make one more day, give her a little more food. But by doing that, oof,
yeah.
ruins the whole system of 7 days. It's like Cinderella almost too. It's like you have exactly 7 days, how many hours that is. But that's what they pinpointed, and she pushed it one more day. And
Yeah.
then Demi Moore wakes up with like those plastic fingers you get at Party City. And she calls the substance number again.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hi, this is blah blah blah, Elizabeth, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Who?" And she's like, 503, which I love. I love because they're tracking everything, all the guinea pig stuff. And she's like, "There's been a slight like misuse." And they're like, "Uh-huh. What'd you do?" Like, didn't even say what you did. She's like, "Remember, you are one. Whatever happened is now equally, done." But I also thought, like, maybe she'll try stealing some spinal fluid back from Margaret Qualley, and she never did that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah. So,
You need some of your juice back.
so at that point, yeah. So the old body, the real body, the Matrix, is the one that's going to always lose in the situation.
Right. They answered that. You're right. Yeah.
And she knows, Margaret Qualley at least knows, like, if I stay in this body long now, I'm screwing myself over. And that was the thing that kind of lost me towards the end is like she knows what she's doing, but she still like didn't care really. So
Pushing
I
it.
I didn't love that.
It's a lot with drugs today, man. You know what you're doing. You're doing it for the now. The now.
Yeah, there's just such, and this is like so drastic though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a crystal meth addict or anything like that, but if every time
That's
I
a totally
smoked,
different drug than like a aesthetic to make you look prettier,
no, I
or make you
know.
lose weight or make you have a hard penis. You don't know the side effects on the bottle. You read them, you're like, oh yeah, this. It's like, oh, but this will cure my eczema, but it could give me glaucoma. That's exactly my eczema cream over there. So it's like, I don't want eczema, but maybe in 60 years I'll have glaucoma.
Yeah, I just thought this was so crazy because it's like if you literally go hours past this thing, your finger turns into like a zombie finger, and then the rest of your body starts to do this. So it's like just stick to the schedule and everything works out. Like it's pretty, there's no repercussions if you don't break the schedule. So that's where I was like, just don't do that. But she's so addicted to being loved and beautiful and all this stuff that she's like, whatever, I'll just sacrifice my real body. So I didn't love that. And maybe I'm missing something, but in my mind, I was like, you can have
You're
the
you're
best of
not
both
missing something,
worlds.
but that's the point. That's
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
point. They forget that they're one, and they forget that you're not the beautiful woman. You're one. So you can't forget that, but they forgot that. That's the point.
It's pretty easy not to forget that, I think, but I'm
You
crazy.
think if you were to do this, you'd be like, I'm
Yeah,
not missing. I'm
yeah,
setting multiple snooze
to
alarms,
the day.
and
Yeah,
like, but
exactly.
Demi Moore doesn't care. She is in the now, and she's one of those people that's selfish, and that's her downfall, literally.
Yeah. So, Demi Moore is getting like she's eating like raw, not raw chicken, full chickens and all this trash and leaving everything. So it's like this is what I also don't understand. She's like trying to punish the younger version of herself by leaving a
Her,
mess.
which is her.
Right. So it's like when she wakes up, it's not like she's just like, oh, yeah, that bitch, like she did this. It's like you just did that. So now you have to clean it up, and now you're just in a different body. So I was like, I didn't love that feeling of them like,
But you is you, which is the
you're
best part
right.
of it. It's like can't women just get along,
Not
you know?
that.
No,
If
no,
it
but
was a
like
man
that's
doing it
like
too, I'd be like, what the fuck are you
same
doing?
thing. It's like this mother, like, you know what I mean? It'd be the same thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna get you, bro. Get ready. I'm gonna have a whole bag of Takis now and
That's
like just
insane.
ruin his day.
Yeah, so now, young Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley is killing it at the show. Everything's going great, but then she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna push it. I'm gonna fucking. Oh no, right before that though, I really like this scene. Demi Moore's like, I gotta get my confidence back, so I'm gonna call that guy that I bumped into from my high school earlier, and we're gonna go out on a date or whatever. So she like does her makeup all nice. The guy is blown away. He's like, oh my God, like you want to go on a date with me? Like, oh my God. So he's freaking out. She gets up, dolled up, she's ready to go out, and then she's like, I look ugly. And she goes back and redoes her makeup again. And then she's like, she sees herself in the doorknob. So I was, and that's what made her think she was ugly. I was like, the doorknob's not even like a mirror. She's like, I saw my reflection
Well,
in the
it's
doorknob.
another like fishbowl kind of
Yeah.
view of yourself. But now you just also made me think too, when did she meet her high school or middle school person that she didn't really recognize right after she got the substance USB?
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe that was all part of the substance trial where, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I thought he was going to
So
be bad. I was surprised he didn't come back. So, yeah.
no,
So
no,
she
but there was
blows him off.
another scene that made me think too with the old man at the coffee shop. Remember her finger? She's wearing gloves at the coffee shop,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
guy totally catches her.
Yeah. And
Is that the nurse guy?
yeah,
A
100%.
100%, right?
Because he has
Yes.
the birthmark on his hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so they're the nurse that like gives her the USB drive. He's got a big birthmark on his hand, and then this old man near where she picks up all the shit from the substance, he has a big birthmark on his hand, and he's like, 7 days is a long time, huh? She's like, what? And he's like, it takes a long time, and gives her this whole speech about like it's hard to remember that you need to like love this version of yourself and blah blah blah. So I guess it tries to give a justification that like, you sacrifice the old for the young or whatever.
I guess too with corporate America too, you sacrifice 5 days at work a week and you get 2 days in the weekend. I mean, 7 days for 7 days sounds pretty fair. If I
Yeah.
had 7 days of work, yeah, I'll do it. And then 7 days off, make that the schedule.
Yeah, actually
Five
that
day
I would do
two
that
day.
too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
5 day 2 day can go kick rocks. So what's Demi Moore's problem? Why can't she
Yeah.
just do the seven
I
days?
know. Yeah. So she sees this old man, they have this talk, and then finally Margaret Qualley's like, fuck this. I'm just gonna suck like all of her spinal fluid out and just like store it up and I'm gonna live my life. So she goes off, she's killing it. Everybody loves doing like talk shows
How
and
many days do you think she got out of the whole spine? Like
it was
20 days?
months.
It was months.
Yeah, because it was like October where they're like, we're gonna have you do the New Year's
Right,
Eve
right, right,
show.
right. So they got like she got like 60 to 100 days of spinal fluid.
Yeah, because then it runs out on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's
So
so
it's like
perfect.
you've got,
Like, and she like goes back and like gets one more, pretty much.
yeah. So then as New Year's Eve's approaching, she turns into this monster when she switches
Well,
back because,
yes.
yeah, because her butt is starting to like explode. Basically, like there's this one scene where Margaret Qualley's doing her dance on the show, and then all of a sudden she sees her butt like pop, basically. And they're like, we need to get this up on the cameras and examine it, like sort of thing, frame by frame, and know exactly what's up with this butt. And it makes Margaret Qualley freak out, and her nose is bleeding, and she's like, "Fuck! Like I need to figure this out, or else I'm gonna die." I think so. She switches with Demi Moore, and Demi Moore turns into like a demon crow
Super
lady,
Saiyan, crazy old bitch right
like
there. Yeah.
really old, like looks like Gollum kind of. It was scary. Like she looked pretty scary. And she's just like, all right, but this was the other thing. She's just like, okay, well, we can end this at any time. And she's like, no, I don't want to end it. And I was like, end
Demi
it.
Moore.
I
Demi
know.
Moore. But there's no going back though. They can end it, but it's not like you're gonna go back. So she's just like, I want to do this New Year's Eve thing.
Yeah, whatever. It's yeah. So then she ends up getting killed by Margaret Qualley, and I didn't love the fight scene either, dude. It felt like Kill Bill. Like it was so cartoony when she's like kicking her through the doors, like all this stuff. Like I thought the smashing on the mirror, like when Demi Moore's face is
Yeah.
getting smashed, that was all fine, and that fight scene. But when she's kicking her across the room and she's falling through tables, I was like, I don't know. I don't
It
know.
got a little crazy in the last like 30 minutes for sure.
And but whatever. But if they took those little things out, I would have been like a little bit more, I don't know, I guess like grounded, but
You would respect it more, is what you're saying? Or
no, no, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because at this point, the movie is so crazy that's like whatever. I'm in. It didn't hurt it that much. So yeah, so she kills Demi Moore. She kills her. Oh, but the thing that happened before that, Demi Moore is gonna kill her. That was the thing we missed. So Demi Moore has this termination shot that they sent her that they're like, okay, just inject it into her and then it's over. You're like, okay. So she does it.
which she wait, hold on, I want to bring that up. She goes back to that room with all the numbers on the lockers. At this point, there's not just two numbers. The whole lockers have numbers on them now. So now there's guinea
Uh,
pigs out there like crazy. That's what I
okay.
saw the second time.
I
So it
didn't
makes
see
you
that.
think like Demi Moore's one of the first like two or three guinea pigs, and now there's a lot of people in Hollywood trying to do this at the same time, which also brings into like not to mention the O word again, but like once one does it and it works, like you know what I mean? So
But nobody knows about her. It's not like,
no one knows the full effects, man.
well, no, but
So
no, it's not like other celebrities know Demi Moore's doing this.
they're
So,
all guinea pigs too.
yeah,
It's just like there was two lockers, and then now there's like the whole lockers have numbers on them
yeah.
now. So people are doing it now like crazy.
No, for sure, for sure. But it's not like Demi Moore told anybody, like, you gotta try this. It was just like so other people are spreading it. Um, so then we kind of get to the final act where she does stab her, or Demi Moore stabs Margaret Qualley with the termination spike or whatever, and then she gets in a huge fight with her. She's like, "You were gonna kill me," so she kills her. And she's trapped now. She's like, I'm stuck in this body forever. I don't know what's gonna happen, but she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to this New Year's Eve show. I'm gonna kill it, and we'll see what happens. So she goes there, and then shit starts going bad real fast. Her fingernails start falling off, her teeth start falling out, and she goes to leave. One thing that we forgot to mention, the activator fluid that starts this whole process, it says one use only, and then you're supposed to discard it. She didn't discard it. She kept it. So Margaret Qualley's like, oh shit, I'm gonna go back and try again. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
inject myself and see what happens. Which, I mean, what would you turn into? Like a 5-year old? Like, I don't know.
Super Saiyan 2, maybe she's thinking.
I guess, but like it's supposed to turn old to young and hot. So what does young and hot get turned into? It was kind
Well,
of
if it's
like,
from the same Matrix, then it ain't gonna end well. So
yeah, so it's coming from the copy. And one scene before this, I kind of thought Dennis Quaid was going to get killed in this, but he doesn't. But the final scene we really see him in is he's running to Margaret Qualley. He's like, Margaret or Sue or whatever, come here, come here. And she has her teeth all fallen out.
with
So
all
she,
her with all the stakeholders behind him, like all the old crusty
yeah,
dinosaurs. Yeah.
yeah. So all of the shareholders, they're like, "Oh, we want to see a pretty girl smile," and she's just like, "Rrr." She can't smile, but they're like, "Okay." And then she leaves, injects herself again at her house, which is also crazy. Where they're like, "You're the star of the show, okay? It's in 3 hours," and she leaves in LA, never getting back, never getting back on time. So.
Wow, that's what ruined the movie for you. The
No, no,
traffic,
no, no,
the
no.
traffic.
Nothing ruined it at all. So then she goes home, she injects herself again. The clone injects itself, and then it turns into this like elephant man looking
Cronenberg.
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's called like Sue was like Eliza Sue Monstro. It got a title card, and it had that.
And it's like now we're having fun. Now you're in the thick of the movie.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty interesting, this whole thing. And then you've got Demi Moore's face on the back with its like mouth open all the way. You're like, oh God. So it's a bad monster. It's got boobs and teeth.
And she prints out a picture of Demi Moore's face or Elizabeth's face and like tapes it on one of the heads, and it's just like
I don't know what she was expecting to accomplish with that, but yeah, so she's just got like a picture of Demi Moore's face on her monster face, and then she's like hunched over in a dress, and you're like, oh my God. So then she goes back to the show and tries to perform, and everybody calls her a monster, and they're like, it's Frank. And basically, it's like Frankenstein, the end of Frankenstein, essentially, and the Elephant Man, kind of, when he's just like, I am not a monster, and everyone's like
pretty
looking at him.
much.
It was kind of a mix of Elephant Man and Frankenstein, but this is the scene that I just didn't like was the blood, her spraying the audience like a,
That's when it's like, okay,
I
we're losing
know.
it. We're losing it.
It it would have been okay for a minute, but then it was like, get the butt with the blood. It just felt like, yeah,
Like it was
it
like something from Team America
it
almost.
got it, yeah, it was like Cannibal the Musical. It got too crazy that I was like, I was on board. This is a just it's too much, but whatever. I don't care. The rest of the movie was good.
I liked it, but I was it's like the movie's like, how else are we gonna end this movie? Like it's like telling you that. It's like how else are you want to end this movie? The other part was like the boob falling out of an
Oh
or
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
hole or whatever. And I was like, imagine us in Boston when that happened and just like being drunk on New Year's Eve in like 2010 or whatever, like this is New Year's Rockin' Eve, dude. This is amazing.
Like
Like
a demon with a boob popping out of its
it's
head,
like
basically.
this is must watch. Like Jennifer Lopez out there doing that. Like damn.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing that's weird. It's like there's naked women on stage too, and I was like, is this like the Rockettes? Like, what is this supposed to be? Because the women are just topless. And I was like, anyways,
I don't
um,
know.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so the monster or the whatever, Eliza Shue.
Eliza Sue
Yeah.
Monstro.
They kill her. They like stab, but bash her head and it explodes. It grows another head, and then the blood's pouring everywhere. And then she like escapes. She like runs out into an alleyway and she's running, and then she trips and smashes her head into the ground and just like explodes. And then you see like Demi Moore's face is like like a pancake, and it's crawling, and then it lands right on her star from the beginning.
And she kind of like Gollum's like in like the lava of Mordor, where like her face just like kind of like
It
disappears.
melts and it looks like the ketchup from the beginning where the guy dropped the ketchup and then and she's like looking up at the stars, the Hollywood Hills, the
Everybody
stars.
loves me.
Yeah.
Everybody loves me.
And
Yeah.
then the Zamboni comes and just scoops her away, and that's the end of the movie. You're like,
Bye. People are gonna walk on your star for the next 50 years until they get rid of it.
yeah, really quick also about the Hollywood star. I don't know if you know this. They pay for them themselves.
Yeah, you got to pay $10,000 at least, right?
Yeah.
A
So
hundred thousand, I
I don't know how
think.
much it is, but it's a substantial amount of money. It is like thousands and thousands. But it's kind of crazy. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger like has a big like this is me at my event, and like he's just buying that.
It's like buying what was it's like yeah, buying yourself an award essentially.
Kind of. And yeah, but I don't know. Hollywood's not the greatest area, but whatever. Yeah, so the movie very good. Like absolutely check it out. I know there's a couple little things that annoyed me about it, but like overall it's great, you know. It's definitely worth seeing. One of your is it like in your top 10, Eric? Is it like that great? Like you like it that much?
I just had to Google, so Demi Moore does not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I had to make sure
Oh.
because I feel like if she was to do this movie, it's like you can't have a star, Demi. You
Hmm.
can't. But good for her. So she's owning it. So got to give her credit. Well, I mean, honestly, this is one of the better horror movies I've seen of recent years. I have not seen Sinners. I have not seen a ton of movies that have recently come out. I feel like I'm
Ooh.
like 6 months behind on all horror movies, honestly.
Okay, really quick.
Hit me
Don't
up.
don't worry, darling, or this.
This, this.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. All right, good, good, good,
Yeah.
good. Okay, just want to make sure you're not crazy. Yeah, everybody see Bring Her Back. That was fantastic. I saw that last weekend. Freaking great. So
Yeah.
this is coming out weeks later, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a great one. Oscar nomination, some Golden Globe wins, and best makeup. Like obviously, it's incredible. You know, the makeup looks, yeah, just like a Cronenberg movie, like Videodrome or From Beyond. Reanimator reminded me of a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Music. And also, do you think Dennis Quaid was behind it at all? Was he part of the shareholders of the substance?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think
Because
they.
at the end, you see him and he's like not too surprised, you know?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
You
Why
think
have
he'd
that
have a
event? Why
crazier
why do
reaction?
that event and risk it all?
I
Like,
don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
think he
know.
was involved
I don't know
now.
either.
No, but actually really quick, I watched a YouTube video and apparently it was supposed to be Ray Liotta that played that character, and then he died. And the week of, they were like, we need somebody. And Dennis Quaid came in and he had no preparation and he just kind of went in and was just like, let's go.
It wasn't a heavy lift, I don't
No, it's
think.
a small role, but still.
I
It would have
mean,
been interesting.
eat some shrimp, go to a urinal, go to a New Year's party, and then talk to someone in an office and be a piece of shit.
I
Like,
think Ray Liotta would have nailed this though.
man, what was his last movie, Hubie Halloween? Was it Hubie Halloween? I
I
think it
hope
was.
not.
God damn it.
I don't think it
It
was.
would have been way better. It's some, you know, it's kind of crazy too. Margaret Qualley or whatever her name is, she's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The
Yeah.
character Bruce Dern played in that movie was supposed to be Burt Reynolds, but he passed away
Uh,
literally 2 weeks before shooting it, or less than, I think.
hmm.
But it's just like Bruce Dern is such a great film. But once you hear that though, it's like, hey, we had Ray. Could you do this role? It's like, I'll do it for this person, you know?
Hmm.
So maybe that's also why the budget was as low as it was, because Dennis Quaid was like, yeah, I'll just do it. Sounds like a cool role.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know. But Well, Eric, you want to spin the old wheel?
Yes, yes, yes. We have the physical wheel. We'll keep this as legit as possible. Um, Here we go.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, what's happening? Something funny's
Oh
happening.
God.
Oh, we have to do Jaws 3 next. I'm sorry if you can't. You're seeing my screen on the
Yeah.
wheel. It says
Okay.
Jaws 3. Jaws 3, everybody. Jaws 3. This
Okay.
was a real spin on a real physical wheel.
So we're doing Jaws 3 because it's July 4th episode, and we figured we would do a Jaws movie. So we did cheat the wheel a little bit, but yeah.
That was
Anyways.
real. That was a real spin.
Well, anyways, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on the substance, and we will see you next week for Jaws 3D. Oh boy.
3D. 3D.